everyone, this is a quick video today as I just got some crazy news in my inbox from Goal. According to the email, the state of Massachusetts is putting in motion plans for a total bump stock surrender. In case you missed my previous videos following the Massachusetts crusade against bump stocks, I'll link them in the cards and in the description below. Quick recap, back in November, Massachusetts became the first state to ban bump stocks post-Las Vegas shooting. But it wasn't done in any open and transparent manner because, of course not. It was done through gun control language that was attached to the state's budget bill in secret with no public hearings. The original version of the bill tried to prevent gun owners from even doing any routine maintenance or modifications on top of the bump stock ban. Instead, what we got was Bill H4008, which filed bump stocks and trigger cranks under the umbrella term machine gun. Along with this new definition, the bill made the possession of a bump stock or trigger crank punishable by up to life in prison. Now, if all of that isn't problem enough, the bill held absolutely no clause for grandfathering in any stocks or trigger cranks that had already been bought legally and were already out there in the public. Instead, all it had was a disclaimer that, after passage of the law, anyone who owned one of these items that had just been legal the day before would have 90 days to either surrender or destroy it, because selling bump stocks and trigger cranks is illegal now too. And that's how things have sat since then. Now, Goal sent out an alert today, Tuesday, January 16th, that they have in hand a letter from the Massachusetts Executive Office of Public Safety that is slated to be mailed to every licensed gun owner in the state. The letter notifies law-abiding gun owners that the laws have changed and that, effective February 1st, it will be illegal to possess, quote, so-called bump stocks and trigger cranks. It goes on to give the new updated definitions of both devices and reminds residents that they can't even have one of these things in their own home, even if you have a machine gun license. So, bump stocks and trigger cranks are now categorized as machine guns, but even with a Class 3 FFL, they're still illegal. So how are people expected to get rid of these things? Well, the state isn't going door to door yet. But they are telling all residents to, quote, contact your local police department or the Massachusetts State Police and arrange an appointment to transfer custody of the prohibited item to the police for destruction. It goes on to tell law-abiding citizens that refusal to comply will, quote, expose the owner to criminal prosecution, which is that possible life in prison sentence I mentioned earlier. Now remember, this is also the same state with a backdoor gun registry, and that banned all assault rifles and then copycat assault rifles overnight, and with an attorney general who basically said, I won't prosecute you for now, but I know where you live. I really have to wonder how far they're going to go to try and actually enforce this thing. Historically, only about 10 to 25% of people actually comply with registration and surrender laws. For example, in 1991, the New York Times reported an estimated 100,000 to 300,000 assault weapons in New Jersey. 947 people registered for target shooting only, 888 rendered their rifles inoperable, and only 4 people actually surrendered them to the police. That's it. New York City and California, of course, have had more success with this stuff, but that's because they used actual registration records to then go and confiscate the guns or other offending items. And don't just pass this off as, oh, crazy Massachusetts, because it's not. There are similar laws already down the pipeline in other states and on a federal level. And remember, the NRA already came out in support of it. They said, yeah, go for it. Ban the bump stocks. So it'll really be interesting to see how far the birthplace of freedom is willing to take it. There is a precedent here from a case out of California already, where the state tried to ban and confiscate high-capacity magazines. Judges looking at the case basically said that the government can't take away someone's previously legally owned property without adequate compensation, so that is probably the route that Goal is going to go. But for now, we're just gonna have to buckle up and wait it out. That is your Second Amendment and Firearm News of the Week. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you really like my videos and want to help support my channel, you can do so over at Patreon or with a one-time donation through PayPal or Bitcoin. Until next week, stay safe and happy shooting.